Vandehang Shri Guru Shri Jatapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Shagrajatam Shagana Raganatan Vitam Stam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Shagana Lalita Sri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hori Priye Vancha Gopadarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Padma Patram Ivambasa. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells how to become like a lotus leaf resting on the water. The water goes up or down and the lotus leaf remains untouched. So Brahmanyadhaya Karmani Sangam Chaktva Karotiya. The person who offers everything to the Supreme Divinity or to Krishna, Brahmanyadhaya Karmani, he offers all of his activities, Sangam Chaktva Karotiya, and gives up. Sangha means association. How do we give up association with the things that we do? That requires a change of consciousness, a change of understanding. The person lacking in spiritual consciousness always identifies with the body. I'm an American, I'm Indian, I'm white, I'm black, I'm young, I'm old, thin, fat, this, that. We identify with the body or with the mind, the subtle body. And then everything is in relation to the body. I like it, I don't like it, it's mine, it's not mine. In terms of the bodily, the root of bodily identification. But the person who has spiritual understanding knows I'm not this body. The body is like a covering or like clothing. And so the things pertaining to the body really have nothing to do with me, and even the body has nothing to do with me, which is strange because I'm walking around in it and using it. But ultimately it has nothing to do with me. These clothes had nothing to do with me before I acquired them, and later again they'll have nothing to do with me. So even now, what do they have to do with me really? They're just temporarily there, but I don't think I'm this red hoodie. I know the hoodie is just a covering. So the self-realized person knows, what do I have to do with this body? It's just a covering. It's not my actual self, which is a big relief, because as long as I identify with the body, there's always, it's to this, it's to that, it feels this, it feels that, it's not enough of this or enough of that. There's always problem. It's the wrong this, it's the wrong that. And so many troubles. Or it used to be the right this, but now it's the wrong that. So the person, when we get free from bodily identification, It's a big relief. Therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Brahmabhuta prasannatma. When one realizes one's identity as a spirit, soul, as a spark of consciousness, different from the body, prasannatma, he becomes exceedingly joyful. What a relief. What foolishness I was bothered by. What a load I was carrying for no reason. So prasannatma, he becomes joyful. Two reasons. One is that the soul is by nature joyful. That's its constitutional nature. Its natural characteristic. So for that reason, and also just because so much I got free from. Like when you get, I don't know, anyway, we don't have experience of being released from jail, most of us, but something like that. So prasannatma. And then nashochati nakankshati. He has nothing to lament over and nothing to hanker for. In material life, it's so much hankering and so much lamenting. I couldn't get this, I had it, but I lost it. If I only had this, if I only had this. So, but the self-realized, why do I care about these things? What is it? Because he has a larger view. He has his eyes on eternity, not on the moment. So, why should I lament over the things that come and go? It'll go on. Tamsta diksha subharta in the Bhagavad Gita. It's like the coming and going of summer and winter. Now the winter is going. And all right, good riddance. Summer is coming, oh good, but later it'll be good riddance. So coming and going, whether we like it or we don't like it. Summer, some people like the winter. But it comes and it goes. So everything in this material world comes and goes, but consciousness is the permanent self. So when one comes to that platform, then samasarveshu bhuteshu. Sama means with equal vision, seeing things equally. And sarveshu bhuteshu. Bhuta is an interesting word because it can mean two different things. It can mean things, generally, or it can mean living beings. So sama sarveshu bhuteshu means that one sees all things to be equal or all circumstances to be equal. All right, it's this, it's that. He's not, what's the word, blown off course because it's this way or it's that way. Okay. The Srila Prabhupada gave the example that it's like the expert stock trader. Sometimes the market goes up, sometimes the market goes down. But if you're expert, either way is fine. When the market goes up, you sell and make a profit. When the market goes down, you buy cheap. So either way is fine. One just has to know that, no, I don't commit suicide because the market went down. I buy cheap and later it'll go up again. So one is equipoised. So the person in spiritual consciousness is equipoised, samasarveshu bhuteshu. Or another meaning, bhuta, living being. So he's equal toward all living beings. He doesn't see that some living beings are better than other living beings because the soul is the same, whether in the body of a dog or a cow or a human being or a person who eats dogs or a person who's a highly refined gentleman. whatever. The soul is the same in all the different bodies. So he sees all living entities equally, not even just the human beings. We have this idea of equality, that we're equal to all human beings, which we're not, but we say that. And then we persecute the animals. But the Krishna conscious person sees Krishna within every body. He sees that the supreme divinity, the supreme personality of Godhead is present in every body. So therefore every body is sacred. Everyone is deserving of respect. Everyone is a spiritual being. This is called the Brahmabhuta platform, the platform on which we see everyone equally. Outwardly, there's differences. It's not that we're such fools that we can't see the difference between a pussycat and a tiger. We do. But we see that inwardly one soul's trapped in a tiger's body, another in a cat's body, but they're all equal. Samasarveshu bhuteshu. So that's the beginning. Some transcendentalists think this is the end. We've achieved perfection. We see with equanimity all life or all creations. But Krishna says this is the beginning. From this stage, one goes on to Mad Bhakti, or Krishna Bhakti, devotion to the Brahman, the absolute truth, in the personal form of Krishna. Samasarvya Mad Bhaktim Labhate Pranam. So this is, in New York, there's so many everythings, and it's all what it is. But the person in Krishna consciousness navigates this scene with spiritual vision, seeing Krishna everywhere. Krishna's in the businessman, Krishna's in the policeman, Krishna's in the Empire State Building, Krishna's in the every other building, Krishna's within every atom and between all the atoms. So the person in Krishna consciousness sees Krishna everywhere. Not that he sees like little Krishna pictures everywhere in some sort of stereotyped conception. But by philosophy, by spiritual vision, he understands that Krishna is everywhere, that the Supreme is everywhere. Everything is Krishna's energy. There's nothing that exists that's not the energy of the Supreme. So he sees Krishna everywhere. He sees that even his own body is Krishna's property, is a manifestation of Krishna's energy. That his own self is a manifestation of Krishna's energy. And he sees the connection between himself and Krishna, or between Krishna and everything includes me. So he sees I'm part of Krishna, and therefore he wants to be connected with Krishna. Yoga means connected, connection. He wants to be connected with Krishna. In the beginning, one may be connected simply by thought, by meditation. But in the advanced stage, one thinks, let me contribute to something that will be pleasing to Krishna. Let me do something that will be, pleasing to Krishna, that will serve Krishna. That's called bhakti. Now I'm using all of my senses for my own happiness, and it's not really making me happy. I eat, but I'm not satisfied. I see a film, and then later it's like that. I read something, and it's okay. it doesn't really satisfy me. I touch something, I see something, I taste something, I hear something, but it doesn't really, it's all for my happiness, but it doesn't make me happy. Or it makes me happy for 5 minutes or an hour. And then, but when I use my senses in the service of the Absolute, the Ultimate, Krishna, then my senses become happy and I become happy. Paradoxically, in one sense, I'd think that if I did something for my senses, they'd be happy. But I'm serving my senses, trying to satisfy them, and they're never satisfied. They're bad masters. Whatever I do for them, not enough, not enough, not enough. But when we engage our senses to satisfy the source of everything, to satisfy Krishna, the senses become satisfied. And that satisfaction is on the spiritual platform, on the natural platform. And bhakti is the science of learning the techniques, how to do that, how to understand my spiritual nature, how to not just theoretically understand it, but make it factual, implement it as a practical fact in my life. Welcome. Is there a chair for you? Okay, there's something. So all these understandings are there in Bhakti Yoga, which begins on this platform of spiritual realization and then proceeds further and further. That becomes a great topic, how far bhakti can go, how sublime it can get. But but we'll start at the start. And perhaps if you have some questions, we could see what that's about. Yes? I wonder what kind of questions might be bubbling up.
Okay. Thank you, Maharaj. I really liked what you were saying about seeing Krishna or seeing divinity everywhere, even in the Empire State Building and New York City streets. And we may understand that theoretically, that yes, like God is everywhere, divinity is everywhere, but how practically can we
chant Hare Krishna? It's that simple. This mantra is powerful. This mantra is situated on the platform of transcendence. Ordinary sounds are situated on the platform of Maya, of temporary existence, on the platform where everything's like a breath, it's there for a moment and then it's gone. But this Hare Krishna mantra exists on the platform of transcendence. And if our consciousness becomes filled with the sound of the mantra, then we exist on the platform of transcendence. If the mind becomes absorbed in this sound, then our mind is existing on the platform of transcendence. So the technique could hardly be simpler. Just chant Hare Krishna and hear the sound of Hare Krishna, and the mind becomes absorbed, the mind becomes purified actually also. Simple thing. Just go on chanting, go on chanting. And then we had a friend, because I've been involved in publishing, we had a friend who was our account rep at our printing company where we used to print our magazine. And because he was our friend, he became our friend. So he started learning about what was in the magazine. And so he started chanting Hare Krishna, and he said, when things get really rough at the office, he said, I just close my door and I take out my beads and I chant. And then just like, and he didn't say this, but I'm smoothed out. It's such a practical thing. Take out 5 minutes and chant Hare Krishna. And then you rise to the Hare Krishna level. Instead of being in the printing company crisis world, now I'm in the spiritual world. And from the spiritual platform, I can deal with everything else. It doesn't blank out everything and make me incapable. But it enables me to see everything in perspective. And then I can deal with anything. And it's so practical.
Thank you.
And I wonder what else might be there.
I have another one.
You have another one, all right.
So chanting Hare Krishna, it seems like a bit oversimplified, right? In that, like,
You want something complicated?
well, I mean, typically when you think of, how to attain these states, of enlightenment and so on and so forth, it requires some austere journey, going to the mountains, perhaps, or doing some prolonged yoga practice.
You can do that if you want. We don't object. Give up your everything and go to the Himalayas and dress in tree bark and sit on a mat of kusa grass and deer skin and live a completely celibate life and sit in yoga posture for 20,000 years, which is what the system asks for. And if you want to do that, it's your call. Drill your respiration until, offer the incoming breath into the outgoing into the incoming, until you finally reach Kumbipak Yoga, in which the breathing is suspended, it ceases. And then you become so well situated for absorption and meditation. And finally you'll be able to see Vishnu within the heart. If you want to take that up, it's all right. Chanting Hare Krishna is a lot easier. Yes. Hare Krishna.
It's just a simple question, but
Now, does that microphone, what does it do? Nothing.
I'm not sure.
Does it need to be switched or something?
Okay. It's just a simple question, but I was wondering if you could share with us a story of transformation of someone you've met on the journey.
Yeah. There was a fellow named Peter. He was early 20s, I guess, late teens, early 20s. And this was the 1960s, late 1960s, maybe early 1970s, a time when there were a lot of people who were spaced out. He'd been a college student, but he was completely dysfunctional. Peter, would you like some lunch? Hmm. That was Peter. Just a thoroughly dysfunctional fellow. But somehow he became attracted to this chanting of Hare Krishna. and he brightened up, and he became a great Sanskrit scholar. He translated dozens and dozens and dozens of books of Sanskrit works, and also composed Sanskrit poetry himself and English poetry as well. So Peter became an extraordinary person just by the transformative power of chanting Hare Krishna and eating Krishna prasadam. He had attraction to that also, eating the food offered to Krishna. So the tongue led the way. Chanting Hare Krishna, that's one function of the tongue, to vibrate some sound and to taste something. So he engaged his tongue very well on both accounts and became a brilliant person. Is that okay? Kusha Krata. You had a question.
So, Maharaj, you were saying about a stage called Brahma Bhuta Prashanatma.
Yeah, is there a switch on this that needs to be switched?
There's a light.
There's the light's on. Oh, that's just online. Okay. So I was talking about the Brahma Bhuta stage.
Yeah, so are there stages before that and after that, and how does it feel?
Before that, there's the material stage. I'm this body. I'm American. I'm 38 or 48 or 88. There's the whole material conception. Or identification with the mind, in which my thoughts, my emotions, all of that, that's me. I'm not this external body. I'm the mind, which is the subtle body. So these stages come before. And what comes after, Krishna himself says in the verse, bhakti comes after. From the stage of spiritual realization, because think about it, spiritual realization means to know that I'm not this body, that I'm spirit. Okay, now I know. I'm spirit, I'm not this body. Now what do I do with that? Do I sit here all day? I'm spirit, aham brahmasmi, I'm spirit, what's that? What kind of life is that? Or what kind of realization is that? So after I understand my spiritual nature, then I have to do something. So that doing something becomes true when I understand my relationship with the Supreme, or the relationship with Krishna. Then I can link myself with Krishna and do things for Krishna. That's active. So bhakti is the postgraduate stage. The first thing, just like in healthcare, first thing is to get rid of the symptoms, the disease, the broken leg and the non-functioning liver, whatever it is. Okay, now we've got that straightened out. Now I have to do something. I can't just lie in bed in the hospital forever. That I'm healthy means I'll go out and work, I'll go out and enjoy, I'll have sex, I'll eat, whatever it is. I resume active life. Otherwise, my being cured is theoretical. I'm cured of the disease of material identification, but I don't know what to do. And so what will happen? I'll go back down. Unless I go up. The upside is I'll engage in bhakti yoga, in connection with Krishna.
So can we say everyone who is in that bhakti process, they are in that stage?
Can we say that everyone?
Who is in bhakti process or chanting and serving, are they all in that stage, or
Which
are they
stage?
like above Brahma Bhuta stage?
Yes. Anyone who's chanting Hare Krishna, engaged in the service of Krishna, is on the stage, on the next stage. Even if their realization of their spiritual nature is not perfect, it will become perfect because they're engaging in the process which will take them further.
That's it.
Krishna, Krishna. Yes.
So, if I, well, I'll be loud for the room too. If I know, in some sense, that I'm not this body, I just live in this body. But there's the question of the desires, the lust that also live in this body with me. I have a guess of what your suggestion might be to deal with that, but
Yeah, how do we deal with, we know that we're not this body, but we still have the desires associated with this body, lust and so on. One manages. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna doesn't say that you have to give up all activities pertaining to the body, but regulate them. Regulate them. For example, we don't say no eating, but don't eat indiscriminately. Eating animals, eating anything and everything. But regulate eating. So everything can be regulated and connected with Krishna, just like food. When it's offered to Krishna, it gets spiritual significance. It's like an iron rod placed in the fire, it becomes fiery. So everything can be connected with Krishna. Even sex can be connected with Krishna, but not willy-nilly, indiscriminate, uncontrolled sex. That's for the animals. But for human beings, sex which is regulated, and regulation actually means marriage, not that couple, uncouple, couple, uncouple. But within marriage, one can have sex. From sex, there'll be children. Children can be raised in Krishna consciousness. So then that becomes also a kind of service. Is that okay?
Last call, any last questions? Can we give Marge a big round of applause? Thank you.